Do you like going to it?
I just jumped on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man, the Dublin Irish Festival. Let's go.
Yes. So, no, I've been wanting to go, and I've been driving past it every day, picking up my son from daycare. And it's, everybody who's been to it says it's fantastic. So I have to get to it one of these years. But I'm going to Scotland on Friday, so I'm going to miss it.
What?
Yeah.
You doing a little golf?
Rub that in our face, why don't you?
I'm going to do a little golfing, and I've got a 7-week-old at home, and I'm sure my wife wants to kill me, but God bless her, because we had planned this before he was even a thought, and so she gave me the blessing to go, so I'm going.
Nice.
You got a good one there, bud.
Yeah, I do. I'm very
Oliver,
lucky
you missed it, but I've had the hiccups for 3 days straight, so I'll be hiccuping this whole time. It's absolutely miserable. I don't recommend it, so hang with me.
What in the world, dude? You go to a doctor.
I've been to 2 emergency rooms, 2 doctors, and nobody can figure it out. So
hold up, an emergency room for hiccups?
Well, because I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop, and I was getting anxiety because I couldn't stop. It was giving me like little panic attacks.
Brad, my 7-week-old has been hiccuping for 7 weeks, so I think you're gonna be all right.
Whatever, man. Don't wish that upon me.
Yeah, you need to go to Oliver's house for the remedy then. So besides the Irish Festival, there's also the Ohio State Fair that's going on right now, right?
Yeah. So this is another big event here in Columbus. We've talked about it before. I've never been to it. I'm going this weekend. My wife already said we're going. Put on the book. She wants funnel cake. She's 7 months pregnant. So whatever the 7-month pregnant woman wants, we're definitely going to be doing. I'm really excited about it. I mean, this has been going on for literally since 1850. So this is a big deal for Columbus. So if you haven't been to it, I suggest going to it. But yeah, that's another big event going on. But let's get to my favorite one. This is my absolute favorite thing that's going on right now. The Ohio State University football team opens camp this week. I mean, this is what it's about in Columbus, right? I mean, if you have any love for Ohio State football, you have circled this date on the calendar.
I'm checking into 11 Warriors like daily, and this is always like the dead zone. Like, remember, like you pray like somebody doesn't get hurt, doesn't get arrested, because like every year it seems like we have like some catastrophe that happens like week 1, like our season's toast. Like, it's unbelievable this would happen. This was supposed to be our year, so it's like this is the time of year I always hold my breath. Like, stay healthy, don't be idiots. There's a lot of stakes. So
I know I'm going to practice on Friday. I'm going to practice Friday. Yeah, they're doing like through the new NIL stuff. They have like different levels of passes for 2 days of camp. And a buddy of mine he had tickets, but then he ended up not being able to go, so he gave them to me. So I'm gonna go check out camp. It's from 9:15 to 11:30 on Friday.
Ryan, you got to work on getting us press passes. I mean, this show is blown up to the point where, I mean, I think our credentials could get us some press passes, like not only like some practices, but sidelines. We go to the bowl games. I mean, let's work on that.
I might be able to get water boy credentials, but probably nothing more than that.
Dude, we're Life in Columbus on YouTube.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you know who we are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I got for this week.
Thanks, buddy. Good job this week. Hopefully you feel better. So Oliver, kind of our lead story is Columbus is still in the midst of a pretty significant attack. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so there's like this ransomware attack that, attacked our city offices downtown. And it's kind of scary because if they get in, they can literally shut down infrastructure. So like we're talking the electric grid and the utility plants for the water and sewer and then all electronic communications. And think about like 911 services. They said, they had to go back to, phone calls, pencil and paper, because they're not able to, dispatch officers the way that they're accustomed to doing. But I'm really proud of them. They tackled this really quick. They got all their systems offline. So it sounds like, they were prepared for this to happen. But they said Mayor Ginther's like, we've never seen one this sophisticated. It is becoming more prevalent. And this happens to cities all across the country all the time, guys. Like, these ransomware people, wherever they are, like, they are very sophisticated. And last year alone, and this was like private business, like they took down $2.9 billion. And
Oh,
that's only 20%. They said only 20% of businesses even, report the crime. I mean, and I don't know why that is, but maybe they're just scared of like, further ramifications if they go after these guys, because you just don't know where it's coming from. But we were under attack. They said, a lot of data was breached, but things are slowly but surely getting back online for the city and operating more and more normal. So it's just, this stuff's crazy in this world that we live in. And I think what's most important, though, if you're sitting at home listening to this, is I know it sounds like a doomsday prepper type thing, but like this has to make you kind of get prepared and have contingency plans, because like, let's say they did knock down our electric grid, right? And here we are at Columbus, and you can't go to the grocery, you can't go out to eat. Dude, they say like in studies, like it takes 3 days, and then it's every man for himself. It's absolute chaos. Yeah, it's scary. I mean, so I had this conversation with my family, and about kind of prepping, and it's not anymore a tinfoil hat thing. It's a very real threat that goes on. And, I just think it's a wake up call to everybody. It's like, have a couple weeks supply of food and water so you can weather the storm, whatever happens. If you need to go somewhere, no alternate routes other than, major freeway systems, because that's where everybody's going to gravitate and go to first, and have somewhere to go and have a plan in place for you and your family, because I'm sorry, guys, but the world we're entering into is freaking scary. And I just think this has become more the norm going forward. Am I crazy?
Yeah. No, you're not crazy. And one thing I just came up with is what we're going to do is we're going to start having branded Life in Columbus tinfoil hats. So that'll be coming out next episode. And we're just going to have a big sticker right here, Life in Columbus tinfoil hat. We can make them all kinds of designs. So, I mean, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, what's funny is I hear these stories and I watch TikToks, and it seems like millennials are departing from the traditions of what we were told we needed, like big house, big car, boat, lots of student loan debt. But we're going back to more planting gardens, learning how to fix stuff on our own, stuff that our parents really didn't want to do. They wanted to pay someone to fix it. So we're getting back to great grandparents kind of lifestyle. And I got to tell you that I'm excited to get out of town so I could buy my little hobby farm and a donkey named Waffles. So, man, I think a lot of us are feeling the same way that you are right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's something that I know we as our family has talked a lot about, and getting things in order. I've got a friend, her husband, he set me up. I have the list. Everything that you need to survive for, it's actually for like six months. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
It's a heavy investment to make, but I think more and more people are waking up to like these things that are happening in our communities, not only nationally, but here locally. And they're going to start taking more, repercussions for things and getting ready, because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's no longer like for the paranoid schizophrenic guy, and we make fun of them for having a year's worth of food in their basement. But like, there's some YouTube channels. I was watching one a couple weeks ago, and it just seems like more and more mainstream normal people are actually like checking them out. And there's all kinds of like alarmists that are out there, but you got to be prepared, and you got to really think through the little things that you need to get through. And I'm really drawing some blanks, but there's like some just simple items that you just wouldn't think of that could like save the day type thing. So, man, I got some homework to do tonight.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with not only just like how you can get clean water, but also like first aid, to be able to take care of like very minor like wounds, because that can cause infection, and that can lead to a whole other thing. So, not to get too off the beaten path, but there are some basic stuff that you can get. Plus, arming yourself, that's another thing. And maybe we shouldn't talk about that on here, but that's a thing too.
We don't know our audience. Once again, we're going to keep it between the lines.
But yeah, good stuff, Oliver. It was cool to see Columbus did this. It was another good test for us.
Yeah, no doubt. So speaking of testing, there's another thing that came up this week where the marijuana, the Mary Jane, if you will. Oliver, what you got on this one?
So, marijuana now is recreational legal, I guess, in Ohio, or used to be able to just have a medical card, but now it's going to be recreationally legal, and that means that there's definitely people who are going to be pausing for the cause on their commutes either to or home from work. Not judging anybody, but I think I drive. No, guys, seriously, I drive enough that like I can't tell you how many times like I see people kind of hotboxing their car on the way to work. And, like, people are just so like open in the air about it, or like you pull up to a parking lot and you get out of your car and you're like, what does that smell? Holy shit. Like, keep it down, guys. There's just people on the road that are impaired. So state of Ohio is going to start testing for this. So you can get a DUI now if you're, if they have suspicion that you're under the influence of weed. And they're going to do like an oral test. And I don't know, how they can tell how much cannabis you have in your system, but it will be some type, I think in the beginning, some type of like pass fail. And even if you fail it, marijuana stays in the system for like 30 days. So I think they have to scrutinize more about how much was in your system and when you smoke. So I think the level of the threshold to be able to prove that in court that you were impaired at the time you drove. But again, something to think about if you partake, you got to be a little bit more careful. And, it's never a smart idea to drive impaired, especially on weed. But it's I think there's like 33 states now, and it'll eventually go to every state eventually. And but it's just something that's new to think about.
Yeah, what a time to be alive, right?
I love how they put a bucket of fried chicken there on that.
Yeah, we're giving a lot of people some free ads on this thing. Maybe we just need to mix.
Yeah, that's like the munch. Was that an ad?
That was an ad. That was a
That's
bucket
perfect.
of chicken.
They found a marijuana ad or article
Right?
and put their bucket of fried chicken out there.
They know their
They know what's going on.
Good for them.
Yeah. So if weed is not your thing and you want to get out of town, there's actually a study for where people are coming into Columbus. They're coming to and where they're coming from. I know I butchered that, so hang with me. So last topic for Oliver tonight, where are we seeing people moving from to come to Columbus?
Yeah, so top states, they rank the top 10 states that where people are moving from. I can really attest to this because Florida, surprisingly, is number one, but it's really not that big of a surprise because what happens is we get a lot of snowbirds from Columbus that go down to Florida. And for one reason or another, they're all coming back now. And, I asked them what's making them come back, but guys, we talked about it in a few other episodes. The cost of ownership in Florida is becoming insane. Homeowner insurance rates are sky high. More and more storms are hitting on the coast, so people are feeling more uneasy about their investments, living in condos and things right near the coast. So this might become more of a trend for people moving back to Ohio, but maybe it's just because they have a second home in Florida and they're running trucks. So just the study is not actually about who's actually moving here, but it's where the trucks are coming from. So
Right.
A lot of people from Florida. Now, another interesting thing on here is, some of these are obvious: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois. I mean, these are states that border us. But when you look at that, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, these are some southern states that we are getting people moving here from. And this has just been a weird theme. Like this past week alone, like I had a guy from South Carolina. Did we talk about this last week? Or he never been to Ohio. And he heard such great things. He had to come here to see it for himself. And by the time they left, his wife was like, yeah, I think this is where we want to be. And then you fast forward to yesterday, I get another email from somebody in our audience, and they said that they're thinking about moving up here from Virginia. And I said, have you been to Ohio before? And they're like, no, never been there. But I've done my research, and it seems like Ohio is the best for jobs, affordability, community. And he was looking all up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and he thinks that Columbus is going to be home. So I think that's kind of cool. We are getting such good publicity in this city, and we'll keep talking about it. They are coming here, guys. Like we are becoming a destination for, and then California. Now the Californians, no, it's not on this list. I wonder what they're ranked from, but I talk to people from California all the time, and they're moving back because were from Ohio, moved out to California, realized, oh my God, I didn't realize how good I had it in Ohio, which I know blows people's brains who are living out west and down south. Are like, why? Like Ohio, where is that? We always have that conversation too. But I think what they say is the sense of community here, they lose that when they go to some of these eastern cities, and there's something that's calling them to come back home. And it's also, again, comes back to the affordability factor. Columbus is so much more affordable than some of these eastern or western seaboard cities.
Well,
Yeah,
like you touched on, after you, Brad.
I was just going to hit on this too. I'll run with you. I get all these calls all the time, but I think the biggest trend I see is just affordability.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everybody says. Even in Nashville, for instance, or in Virginia, if you're close to DC, things are super expensive. And so when you get here, even though we think maybe homes are expensive here, it's nothing compared to what these people are doing.
Right.
So that's been my biggest trend I see is just I've worked with a lot of people from these states, but it always comes down to the number one reason is I just get more bang for my buck with everything here in Columbus.
Yeah,
Pretty
but if
much.
they keep coming, that's not going to be the case anymore. Slow down.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we just don't have enough houses for the people that are already here. What are we going to do when we triple in size?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So to that point, to Oliver's point, homeowners insurance, and this is actually coming from a personal experience. So over the weekend, I woke up to an email saying that and it was coming from my bank. I'm not going to name the bank, but it rhymes with Mace. Sent me an email saying that my escrow account was short. And that really got me thinking, like, what the hell did I do wrong? Well, turns out, after talking to my insurance guy said my premium on my policy tripled.
Unreal.
And the only one that was alerted was my mortgage company. I had no idea. He had no idea. So we got it switched. We got it cut back in half. But to Oliver's point, things are getting more expensive. So on my Instagram account, I had an interview with him, and he's talking about why insurance premiums are going up all over. And it's not just Ohio, it's everywhere, and it's worse in some states.
Yep.
So going to Ohio, the average premium in Ohio is just under $1,200. But hold my beer. Look at what Florida's average premium is. I don't know if you guys can see that.
We're paying to insure them. I'm sure that they're hedging their costs by jacking up our rates to help bail out. I'm not, I hate to say that.
Well, that's what he said. He said we are covering the losses from the hurricanes, from the mudslides in California, from the tornadoes in the Corn Belt. So we are covering, as a country, everyone else's losses. Now, a lot of this, he said, is coming from 2020, and now they're able to start adjusting premiums, but we're all paying for everybody. So to that point, if you are a homeowner and you haven't checked your insurance in a while, I really highly recommend that you do that. Call your person. If you don't have a person, get a hold of one of us, and we'll help make sure that you get squared away, because with this and property taxes, this could actually force a lot of people out of their homes when the cost of living, everything, everywhere else, groceries, now insurance is just going up, and our dollars are not going up as far. So
this just happened.
have you guys?
This happened to me.
Did it happen to you too?
Not on my house, but on my car. So my car, I got an alert that it was time to renew, and my new renewal rate was going to be like 2.5 times what my rate was. And we've had no accidents. My wife had a speeding ticket 2 years ago. So I did the same thing, hopped on the phone, called my guy. My guy knows your guy, Ryan.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah. And he said the same thing. And he said some of these places, they're just closing up shop in Ohio. So they're going to throw some crazy rate out. And if you take it, great. And if you don't, they don't care, because they can't afford to stay anymore, and kind of really run their business. So, I mean, I got it handled and everything, but it was absolutely insane. So yeah, definitely check out not only your house, but all of your insurance right now, because it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
Wait, caffeinated misfit, where do you live? That is insane.
Oh yeah, that's brutal.
$770 a month for liability.
Jeez.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, if you can comment back, let us know where you're from. I'm curious. That's insane.
Atlanta area.
Atlanta.
Oh, there you go. Jeez.
Wow.
Well, it's tough out here, and we are getting a little bit of a saving grace in Ohio, because there's a proposal that on property taxes. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but property taxes are just ungodly as well, and they keep going up because property values are going up. So it makes sense that taxes would go up as well. However, once again, none of our incomes have gone up to follow property values. So Once again, homeowners are at risk of getting squeezed out of their house, specifically fixed income and low income. So what's being proposed by Policy Matters here in Ohio is a property tax circuit breaker. So what that means and what they're proposing is if you are of a certain income level, your property taxes are going to be capped. Like you can't go up. You're going to have to justify your income and provide tax returns and pay stubs to show what you make. But I think this would provide a lot of relief because like homestead credits, they're great for the elderly. But once again,
the reason I say that is like it's not that big of a savings, and the threshold to achieve it, it's like, it's like 27,000 if you make more than that. As a retiree, they don't. That's in Ohio, they don't extend it. But I'm like, it needs to be a lot more than that. That's garbage.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, and you guys see the property values, and you also get to see the auditor records for what property taxes are for your places and the customers. So to your point, a property tax bill of $6,000 with a credit of $400 for homestead is not doing anything for anybody. So I think I'm really interested to see where this goes, the property tax circuit breaker, because what it's going to do is it's really going to cap the pain of what a lot of us are feeling. Now, proportionately, what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of home buyers who make higher incomes. Their cap is going to be higher. So therefore, they're not going to have as much relief as someone who's lower income. And I don't care what side of the political spectrum yet you're on. This could be seen either way. But I think this is a positive step because I live in Delaware County. And if anyone from Delaware County is listening, once again, you guys got to get your shit together because my taxes have just gotten out of control.
Dude, the assessments, we talked about it. I mean, they went up 33% for some of these suburbs, like 15% in the city.
Bananas.
And, that's all we're talking about today's show is like this went up, that went up. I mean, everything's just going. Just take it all. I don't. Why even get a patient? Just take it all. Let me know what I get, to have, and that's it. And
that's right. Yeah, we sound like two little old ladies or two grouchy ass men sitting in a McDonald's having coffee at 5 a.m.
Yeah, but I'm glad they're like, they've obviously gotten a lot of phone calls from unhappy people, and deservedly so. I mean, we are taxed at an extraordinary amount for what we get, and we get good schools and things. And I always say this when I run for mayor one day, guys. The reason I'm going to win is I would do like a progressive tax where the longer you live there, your taxes should go lower. You've already paid into the school system. You've been there, done that. You helped build the infrastructure, build the roads, build the schools. You should pay less taxes. And then the people who want to move to the community and take advantage of those schools and things, well, yeah, charge them the higher tax rates because that's what they're coming there for. So, make them pay for it.
Yeah, 100%. But you heard it here first. Breaking news on Life in Columbus. I'm going to be his running mate, 2026, Oliver Chapman for president. I don't know,
you could
president, mayor, whatever.
No, we should do a presidency right now. I think everybody hates both candidates. So therefore,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Property taxes going down. That's my only jam.
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be like a comedy duo to where you're the handsome one and I'm going to be the comedic relief, the chubby one that no one takes seriously. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's the ticket right there. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are at the top of our show, and I want to thank you guys for hanging with us. Once again, this is new for us doing the late night show, but we think it's going to be better for everybody because you're not trying to cram this in 10 a.m. on your drive to work. You're going to be sitting on the couch, putting your kids to bed after dinner, in the bathroom, whatever. We're here for you. Oliver, any parting words before we go, bud?
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think about this time frame. I think it works better for our audience in the evenings. And then if there's anything you'd like us to discuss or cover, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments and discussion. We will get to those next week as well. But we love all the comments that we're getting. So keep them coming because, it just makes the show fun.
Yeah, man, we want to have you guys be part of the show too. So Caffeinated Misfit, El Dude Reno. So thank you guys for watching. If you're still hanging in, we appreciate you guys and the full 5 people that we got tonight. You guys are the best. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace.